Welcome, students. My name is Miss Karen Lenisha Cabral, Assistant Professor in Botany, St. Joseph Vaz College, Kottalim. Today's lecture is for Bachelor of Science, Botany, Semester 3rd, Paper Code BOC 103, Paper Title Plant Anatomy and Embryology. Title of the unit Adaptive and Protective Systems. Module name Adaptations in Hydrophytes. Module number 28. Outline Introduction, Classification of Hydrophytes, Morphological Features of Hydrophytes. Learning outcomes are classifies hydrophytes. It describes the morphological features of hydrophytes. Introduction. What are hydrophytes? Hydrophytes are plants which survive in water. They are also called as aquatic plants. Now, for example, we have Utricularia, we have Vallisneria, Hydrilla, Chara, Ceratophyllum, Trepa, Pistia, Iconia, and many more. Now, over here, we see in this image that we see, this is Chara. It's a very commonly found hydrophyte. Now, some more examples of hydrophyte that you can see over here is Hydrilla. Now, if you look at these leaves over here, and you look at this one, this is another hydrophyte, that is Vallisneria. Now, these are found submerged. Then we have Ceratophyllum and Trepa. Now, Trepa is the one which floats on the surface of the water. Aquatic environment provides a matrix to these plants wherein temperature fluctuation is minimum. At the same time, there is equal distribution of nutrients, mostly in dissolved form. Now, light and oxygen becomes deficient with increase in depth of water bodies. As we go deep down, the light intensity is very, very low. That is the reason you have zonation of aquatic vegetation. You will find some plants that are found at certain depth. Coming to classification of hydrophytes, hydrophytes can be classified as submerged hydrophytes, amphibious hydrophytes, floating hydrophytes, and floating hydrophytes can further be categorized into floating but rooted, and the other one is free floating. We will look into each of these in detail. Coming to the first one, that is a submerged hydrophyte, these are plants which grow below the water surface and are not in contact with the atmosphere or the top surface of the water. Now, this can be, we have some hydrophytes which are free floating again, and the other one which are rooted. When we talk of free floating, we have Utricularia that you can see in the image over here, and then we have Hydrilla and Vallisneria as well. Coming to the second category, that is amphibious hydrophytes. Now, as we all know, amphibians are those which can survive in water as well as partly on land. So, they are adapted to both aquatic and terrestrial mode of life. Amphibious plants either are present in shallow waters or in muddy substratum. Roots and some parts of the plants may be submerged in water or buried in the mud, but some foliage on branches and flowering shoots are above the water surface. The aerial part of these amphibious plants show mesophytic or sometimes xerophytic characters. Mesophytic are when they can adapt to normal temperatures. Xerophytic would be when they experience harsh conditions. While submerged part of the plants develop true hydrophytic characters. For example, of amphibious hydrophytes, we have Oryza sativa, then we have Marsilia. Now, this one is Marsilia, and we have Sagittaria. In some amphibious plants, the shoots are completely exposed in air, but only the roots are buried in water or in mud. These are called as marsh plants. For example, we have Cyperus, we have Typha. Both the images are seen in this slide. The third category we talk about is floating hydrophytes. Now, the term itself explains these are plants which are going to float on the surface of the water. So, plants that float on the surface or slightly below the surface of water are known as floating hydrophytes. Now, these plants are in contact with both water as well as air. So, they may or may not be rooted in the soil. So, depending upon the presence of root, they will be categorized as free floating hydrophytes or floating but rooted hydrophytes. Now, coming to the first subcategory, that is free floating hydrophytes. These plants float freely on the surface of water, but they are not rooted. For example, you have Wolffia, that is over here. This is a very microscopic hydrophyte. Then we have Trepa, we have Salvinia, we have Azolla. This one is Azolla. Salvinia is seen in most of the ponds that floats on the surface. The second subcategory is floating but rooted hydrophytes. Submerged plants are rooted in muddy substrata of ponds, rivers, and lakes, but the leaves and the flowering shoots float on the surface of the water. Here we have the most common one, that is Victoria regia. Now, this is a very common hydrophyte. You see, usually it is pictured as a baby which sleeps on the leaves, because the leaves are so huge that it can hold the weight of the baby. Coming to morphological adaptations. Now, root system in hydrophytes is poorly developed. That is, very poor development of root hair and absence of root cap with root pockets. But there are some hydrophytes which also have root pockets, because this is what protects the plant from any external damage. Now, rooted hydrophytes like Hydrelia, Vallisneria derive their nourishment through their body surface itself. Roots are totally absent in some of the hydrophytes, such as Azolla, Ceratophyllum, and so on. Now, there are also in some hydrophytes wherein the hydrophyte possess roots not just of one type, but they have two types of roots. They have normal roots, at the same time they have negatively geotropic roots, wherein the normal roots will be embedded onto the bed of the pond, while the negatively geotropic roots are going to be floating on the surface of the water. Now, in free floating hydrophytes, the stem is thick and short, floating on the surface of the water. For example, you have is Iconia. Now, if you look at this particular hydrophyte, and especially if you look at this component of it, this section of it, it is swollen, because this part of the hydrophyte will help the plant to float. It gives buoyancy to the plant. In Nymphia, and the stem is a rhizome. Now, in rooted plants with floating leaves, the leaves are large, they are flat, they are entire. Just as I spoke about Victoria regia or Nymphia, wherein the leaves are large enough in order to float, but at the same time they have roots at the bottom. The upper surface of floating leaves are coated with wax. Now, the wax coating prevents clogging of stomata with water and protects it from any injuries. Now, in floating plants of Iconia trepa, the petiole becomes a characteristic swollen. It becomes swollen, which helps or which provides buoyancy. Now, plants such as Limnophylla, then Sagittaria, show heterophyly with submerged dissected leaves. When I say heterophyly, it is two types of leaves. The top surface, which is exposed, will have larger leaves, whereas the submerged one will have smaller leaves, or they are called as dissected leaves. The aerial leaves show typical mesophytic features, that is, the surface of the leaf will be much larger as compared to the ones which are submerged, because they need to carry out some amount of photosynthesis. And pollination, that is, for example, in Vallisneria, pollination and dispersal of fruit and seeds are accomplished by the agency of water. So, water is responsible for the whole process of pollination as well as dispersal of the fruit and seed. These are few references. Thank you.